Just buy a ticket and go, they said. You'll be fine, they said. Well, frick. Dear future me, I'm not dead yet. There's one thing that's changed a lot about me over the few years. It's probably my willingness to let go of control and go on really spontaneous, spur-of-the-moment trips. Seriously, there have been several times where the night before someone will be like, hey, you want to go to such and such place with me? And I'm just like, yeah, sure, why not? Instead of actually thinking about it like a normal person. The trip to Coca Canyon was no different. Literally, my friend Perry and I bought tickets for the bus about 6 hours before, and we were just like, yeah, we'll figure something out when we get there. He forgot all of his papers about Coca Canyon and all of his information, and I brought a guidebook which had 3 pages about Coca Canyon saying that basically you need a guide or a tour or something. Don't go hiking on your own because you're going to get lost. As soon as we got there, we got off the bus and into the bus station and met this old little lady who was just like, come to my hostel. And we were like, okay, it's only 15 souls, might as well. And then we had to awkwardly explain that no, we're not boyfriend, girlfriend, no, we're not married, no, we don't need a marriage ceremony, thanks, we're just friends, okay, bye. And after getting our hostel and kind of dumping out a lot of the stuff that was unneeded, we saddled up our backpacks and we just went. We had no idea where we were going, and no one else in the city really seemed to know either. Chivai is a tourist town for Coca Canyon, but for a tourist town it's still very small and most people don't really know much about anything about Coca Canyon. They're just kind of like, go to the tourist information, but we don't know where the tourist information is. Go to the Plaza de Armas, I guess. Eventually we finally figured out where we were supposed to go to at least start the hiking experience, and then we went. Basically, the majority of our time was spent looking for signs for Coporake, which was the next pueblo over, and we never saw one, ever. For some reason we just kept passing signs after signs after signs for all these other little towns and cities that weren't even on our map that the tourist information place gave us, and we were just kind of like, where's Koboraki? Oh my gosh, why? It just makes me a little nervous that we keep seeing these signs saying, come this way for Coca, and we keep ignoring them. We finally found Koporaki almost 3 hours later. Koporaki. We didn't die. First leg of the trip down. Only who knows how much more to go. And we had lunch, and we faced the public bathrooms of Doom, which were like porta potties, only they hadn't been cleaned in 3 years. Either that, or someone just had a very, very terrible night the night before, because, yeah, just... From there, my friend Perry said that I don't really want to go see the next pueblo over. I want to go to Ui, whatever the heck that is. And I was just like, okay. The locals pointed us in the direction of a very, very steep mountain face and said, hey, basically you have to climb this, and then at some point you're gonna have to go down, and that's how you get to Ui. And we were just like, great, wonderful. Of course, for some reason, Ui isn't exactly the most touristy of places. It was never mentioned even once in my book about Coca, and for some reason it wasn't on half of our map, so we got lost a lot. Let's play the Which Way is the Road game. This way or this way? I guess this one. Basically, the entire journey was going up, going down, going up, going down. And maybe this is the good place for me to remind you that Coca Canyon is twice as deep as the Grand Canyon. So yeah, that was pretty much fun.
I'm going to assume that's the town. Let me just...
Again.
Go down.
Down? But do we want to go down is the question.
You don't want to go down.
Yes. Because it says it's pointing down into Colchis, which is Colchis Canyon, which is down into the canyon.
Where are we?
So we're going this way. So after my friend's direction getting, we somehow magically wound up in Machu Picchu. I have no idea how this happened. Just kidding. These ruins are called Ui Ui. And I, for one, would love to say that that is like the completest, most badassest name in the world. I mean, look at this place. After going to the ruins of Ui Ui, we decided that the next bet was Yonke, because we heard that there were some hot springs there. And For some reason, it wasn't enough just to backtrack because backtracking meant having to go up, down, over and over again, which we didn't want to do. So we made our own trail. That was interesting. It amuses me how we never know where we're going. Let's see. We finally got to Yongke, and from Yongke we descended about 20 minutes or so from the pueblo down into the canyon to the hot springs. The canyon is formed along a divergent fault line, so there's lots of hot springs in that area. We decided that the touristy ones were way too expensive for our budget, so we went to the native ones and proceeded to get stared at. Here's a test question for you. Did we get stared at because A, I'm super sexy in my swimsuit, B, Perry is sort of a hairier breed of man, or C, because we were a bunch of gringos talking in complete English in a native local pool? If you said A, I'm very flattered, but that's wrong. Despite all the staring, the hot pools were so good that we wound up staying a little bit later than we planned, and by the time we got out, it was freezing and it was pretty much pitch dark, and we had to hike that 20 minutes back up to the pueblo where we encountered savage dogs and farmers with pitchforks. It was wonderful, let me assure you. After we finally got back, we took a combi from Yongke to Chivai, which is where our hostel was located, and then we slept, and it was good. Besides the fact that we were under mild soroche, which is altitude sickness. Yeah. I don't know this guy.